Mike Martz had an interesting thing comparing Sam Darnold to a young Steve Young,
Oh,
saying that, that Steve Young was the lowest rated passer in the NFL in Tampa, wasn't very good, came to San Francisco with better structure, better talent, better teachers, better everything, and became a Hall of Famer and is in Canton. He's not saying Sam Darnold's going to Canton, but he's basically making the comparison that on bad teams, they just throw the quarterback out there and say, carry us. But on good teams, the quarterback has support and help. And it's the difference between success and failure often. What do you think? I mean, do you believe that what Mike Martz says, that Sam Darnold now in San Francisco can basically erase what he's been to this point, change the entire course of his career, and find a second, different, successful career here in San Francisco? Do you think that's a possibility?
I mean, that's pretty much what the whole big media has been talking about lately. They love Sam Darnold. Everybody's story is Sam's going to come to the Niners and he's going to get that second chance. He's going to have a better team around him. Like, that was the argument of when they brought him in. And then Kyle said it. Oh, he's never had a team like this. He's never been around good facilities. He's never been around good coaches. So I get the argument. But at the end of the day, man, I don't know why, but I'm just kind of irritated that everybody's just hyping up Sam Darnold lately. He's still learning the offense. At the end of the day, he's still learning it. I mean, yeah, okay, he was number 3 pick a couple years back, but there's no guarantee that he's even going to play on the field this year in a regular season game. There's no guarantee. He's the emergency quarterback, right? If Brock comes back, he's healthy, and there's no issues with him, it's a wrap. He's just a backup. If Trey Lance comes in the next month or so and has to bridge the gap until Brock's back, it's a wrap for Sam. Like, yeah, okay, I get it, but I'm not sitting here holding my breath that, Sam's going to come in and be this amazing player. Like, can he come in and do stuff for the 49ers and win games and look better than he was on every team? Yeah, absolutely, because this team is better than any team he's played. But it also doesn't change the fact that he threw those interceptions. His accuracy was not good when he was on those teams. Like, his coach didn't force him to make those decisions. Like you said with Jimmy, when he dropped back, sometimes you're just like wincing. You're like, oh my God, don't throw it there. And he threw it. Like, those were decisions that Sam Darnold had. Like, I get it. Yes, he'll have Kyle Shanahan that could help guide him. Kyle has 3 quarterbacks right now. You think he's going to sit there and do one-on-one time just to make sure Sam Darnold is like that guy? He's got a lot of quarterbacks to deal with and a lot of other things. He's not just going to spend his time on one guy because Sam's not his project. Sam's there. He's a veteran. He should be able to figure things out because he's been in the league for a long time. I get the argument, but I don't think that Sam Darnold's coming in here to be this world beater. He's our backup quarterback at the end of the day.
It's funny. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan because I've seen him play. You know what I mean? I'm not a Sam Darnold fan because I've watched him at USC. He turned it over a ton. I'm not a Sam Darnold fan because he played terrible with the Jets, and I'm not a big Sam Darnold fan for those reasons. But I did a video this weekend on the Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and I decided to go look at their careers. There's like 25 quarterbacks in the Hall of Fame. And what I discovered was that, like, almost to a man, I mean, there's like, in the history of the NFL, there's like 10 guys who were good out of the chute at the quarterback spot. Everybody else sucked, like, really was bad. And, guys like Warren Moon and Kurt Warner, for various reasons, didn't even get their chance at the NFL for years. Some of these guys, there's multiple Hall of Fame quarterbacks that weren't any good. They were 27. They still hadn't been any good. Kurt Warner didn't even make it to the NFL till he was 28. Aaron Rodgers sat for 4 years, and then his first year in the NFL, he went 6-10. So I just looked at all those Hall of Fame quarterbacks, and they all were bad initially, and many of them were right about the age of Sam Darnold when they got it going. So to me, I've always believed there's one thing that is totally true about the NFL, which is hardly any quarterbacks step into the league ready to roll. Yeah. So you're going to have to figure it out on the fly. And to me, there's a race. Can you figure it out before you take the kinds of injuries that leave you physically diminished? So you're no longer really the same quarterback talent that you were coming out of college. And we've seen examples where guys just get beaten up, and just like, it's not good. And then they start seeing ghosts, and Jim Everett, I think, was this way. Great player at Purdue, took a lot of hits. Rick Meyer, had a great rookie year in the NFL with Seattle, then had 3 years in a row of he was the most sacked quarterback in the league, and he just wasn't very good after that.
Yeah.
And I just really believe in this, that if your body, can you learn what to do before your body breaks? And in Sam Darnold's case, I don't think his body's broken. And I think he's now learned what to do, and now he's on a better team. So I think all bets are off. I realize I can read his football card like everybody else. I can see the turnovers, and he's not my favorite prospect. I wasn't doing cartwheels when he came here. I'm not one of those guys walking down the street going, I see special. But when you do look at and we're not talking about just quarterbacks, we're talking about all of the Hall of Fame quarterbacks who weren't very good in year 1 or 2 or 3, who weren't very good until 27 or 28. Heck, George Blanda is a Hall of Fame quarterback. He wasn't any good until he was like 33. It just tells me that, you know what? We are in an instant gratification world, and we judge things very, very quickly. And when you do that, I think there's potential to get burned on the back end of things, because we're not really giving anybody the ability to get any better. I think Trey Lance is getting better. I think Zach Wilson is getting better. I think Brock Purdy is probably going to get better. I think most of the young quarterbacks in the league are getting better. And I think Sam Darnold is still in one piece physically. So I think all bets are off. I will not put any limits on Darnold. I do not feel like there's no way this guy could be any good. No. I think there is a way that he could be good, because look at the history of every Hall of Famer that's ever played. I mean, it really was amazing. I mean, I went through this thing. A couple of these are just flat amazing. How about this one? John Elway as a rookie, 4-6 with 7 touchdowns, 14 picks.
Oh,
Here's the other one. Dan Fouts. Dan Fouts is a great quarterback. He went 5-20-1 in his first 3 NFL seasons with 16 touchdowns and 36 interceptions. So, it's an amazing thing when you look at all the quarterbacks out there. There aren't that many that really, there's 5 quarterbacks for everybody like Marino or Roethlisberger or Mahomes or Brady, who really didn't struggle. They just stepped into the league and kicked butt. Most guys step into the league. Joe Burrow went 2-7-1 as a rookie. Josh Allen went 5-6 as a rookie. Jalen Hurts went 1-3 as a rookie. These are among the best quarterbacks in the game. Justin Herbert went 6-9 as a rookie. So, I mean, I'm just saying that I'm not saying that Sam Darnold is going to be awesome. I'm just saying the idea that Sam Darnold is like sentenced to being terrible because he was bad with the Jets and Panthers for, the early years of his career. Jim Plunkett was not good with the Patriots, and he was not good with the 49ers. I don't know if you Niner fans even know. Some of the younger fans don't even know Jim Plunkett was a Niner. Maybe don't even know Jim Plunkett. But Jim Plunkett became a great player with the Raiders, and you can improve. So I would say I think Sam Darnold may. What do you think? I mean, what do you think is the upside of Darnold? Would it shock you if Darnold became a well above average NFL quarterback, whether it be here or elsewhere?
no, and like I said, it's not that I don't respect. Like, I respect the take. I get what Mike Martz is saying. I get what you're saying. Like, it's a very respectful take. Like, any player that works hard, and they put in the hours, and anybody, NFL player, NBA player, whatever. Like, there's been players all across pro sports that have transcended their career. Like, they started out bumping the log, and whatever happened, they turned it on late. Like, he could be that guy. Like, he could turn it on. I get it. He has talent. He wouldn't have been drafted top 3, if he wasn't talented. He played well, in college, and I get that he has the arm talent. Again, he was in bad situations, but do I foresee Sam Darnold being anything crazy with the Niners? Not necessarily, because they already have 2 guys. Specifically Brock. The guy that they're banking on. That's their bread and butter. That's the guy they want, right? They've made it pretty clear, abundantly clear. And I think the other tip of that argument, nowadays in the modern era of quarterbacks, I think it was a little bit more acceptable to wait a little bit to let your guy develop, like Elway and the Fouts and things like that. Because nowadays, you put up those records as a starting quarterback, they're going to find another young quarterback in the draft because that's how it works now. Because of the salary cap, you can go and get a cheaper quarterback in the draft and see if he can develop and then become that guy in 2 or 3 years. So I think the era has changed a little bit to allow a little bit more, chance to get another quarterback. If you're not happy with them, if it's not working out, we gotta get rid of them. You get a new coach like Kyler Murray, right? Cardinals, they went in Josh Rosen, he was the guy, and then boom, the very next year they went and got Kyler Murray because a new coach came in, Kingsbury, and he's like, "This is the guy I need to build a team around." So I think there are some different intangibles nowadays compared to the older days. But do I see Sam Darnold becoming a better than average quarterback? I think he can. And even if he doesn't get a lot of playing time here with the 49ers, I think he'll learn a lot of different things playing here with a good staff, a good team, a good coach, a lot of great players, George Kittle and the wide receiver group. I think they'll, welcome him in like they have. And I think it'll be better for him mentally. And maybe it'll help him through the rest of his career. Like, hey, if he plays for the 49ers for whatever reason this year, and there's other circumstances that we can't, unforeseeable circumstances, somebody gets hurt, unfortunately, or something, and he has to come in, I think he could win games with the 49ers. I think he'll be above average. But again, I just don't expect him to be starting a lot of games with the Niners. But if it happens, so be it. I think he could win games with us. But I think that the 49ers are a good place for him for the rest of his career because he is working hard. He's coming into camp every day and trying to prove himself. And I think these lessons that he's going to have, whatever happens this year, will be good for him in the future.